Hey everybody, this is Tony coming at you from the mothership. Thanks for coming by and thanks for watching this video. Today we have a little bit of an unboxing. It is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone.
Perfect.
So let me just start off by saying why I bought this mic. If you've seen some of our previous videos, you may have noticed that there is a little bit of audio interference in the background, this little ticking noise. And I tried to make a new video recently and it just had too much of that interference, that little ticking noise at the back, and I couldn't even use any of the footage. So I think it was time for me to upgrade or get a new microphone. Now this microphone that I have right now that you're listening from is the Rode Video Go mic. It's not an expensive mic. It's about $80 Canadian, about maybe $50 US. So it served me well over these years, but now it's time to move on, especially because it's causing me all these problems. We don't want to keep on re-recording footage just because the audio isn't clean. So that's why I got the Shure microphone, and I'm hoping that this will be a good solution. The reason why I went with a podcast style microphone is because the current mic that I have on my camera right now is a shotgun mic. And I'm not running around doing vlogs or making run and gun videos, so I don't think it's really that necessary. But now it's time to take a look at this. Let's unbox this as you guys are waiting for that and see what this is about. So here we have it, the Shure MV7 podcast microphone. Let's really see what this is about. Now, here it is, the back of information. There's a lot of information on the back. I'm not going to really go through it all. Alright, well, nice little graphic on the side, being very kind of like modern and young, and MV7. Alright, well, let's take a look. Let's open it up. What's inside? Just gonna slide that out. I think this just slides open. There we go. Open it up. Cardboard thing here. Really? They put this piece of cardboard in to tell you about downloading the app. This is the quick start guide. Let's take a look here. Let's see what else is in here before we get to this. It looks like a adapter. Looks like a brass adapter ring. A micro USB to USB-A. Now we have this, which is sealed, which is the USB-C. I'll probably need this one. There we go. And that is the micro USB to USB-C. So here we have it, the Shure MV7. Nice Shure logo here. Yeah, not bad. Looks pretty. It feels really hefty, like heavy. And if we undo this, undo that, probably be how it sits, something like that. Like that. Let's take off this foam and see what the mic looks like. Whoa. Okay. That's what the mic looks like. Really, really interesting. And then back on. Not bad. And what do we have in the back? We have an XLR port here. We have the micro USB, and then we have our headphone monitoring. The good thing about this headphone monitoring that I really am looking forward to is because since it's an output, I can put this output to my camera and it will be able to record it directly to my camera. So I think that's going to be handy. But let's get this set up and see how this performs. All right, so here we go. This is the mic, and we'll see how it performs. This is a test 1 2 3, test 1 2 3. Let's adjust this a little bit and see if how this sounds. Now, I'm not going to be able to really tell you how this sounds until I hear it back. So I'm going to make a couple of recordings and see if this will cut the mustard, will do its job based on what I'm looking for. It may not be for everybody. So let's just take a look. I installed the software pretty easily. It's said to look for it in the App Store, but it's actually not in the App Store. Like in the documentation, if I show you. Okay, so in the box itself, it says here, where does it say here? Google Play and the App Store. Now, I use Mac software, and the App Store, the desktop App Store, doesn't actually have the software. I had to go directly to Shure to get it, and as their kind of overly done packaging states, just go to shure.com/motive-desktop to download it. So I'm going to cut this right now and see how the playback sounds. So we'll be back. All right, so we're back, and after listening to the playback, I had a little bit of a little mishap. I set up the camera gain, like the camera's audio gain, a little too high, and so it was just acting a little funny. As for the most part, the software seems fairly, fairly straightforward. So here's the software, the Shure Plus Motive software for Mac, and I have it set up on my Mac laptop. And as you can see, it has a lot of controls here. You have presets. We have the mic mute, mic gain, monitor mix, your EQ. So I'm going to play around with the EQ. Let's just see what. Well, we'll play around with it a little bit later. Limiter, if you want a limiter on, and a compressor. And so this is, and when you install it, it first comes in as into this manual mode. So it's kind of tries to set it up out of the box very clearly. But I think if for anybody like me that's fairly beginner at really setting up mics, auto level will probably be the setting that I use the most. And as you can see here, we have some presets, and I don't know. Yeah, so we can have my own set of presets. I can mute the mic. Yeah, and monitor mix, so whether I can want to hear the mic more or playback more, that's different. Mic positions, so if right now I'm really close to the mic, and if I wanted it far, I can put it far, and I can talk a little more normally without it kind of like being in my face. Let's go back to near though, and then the tone is dark, natural, bright. So right now I have it on natural. So let's just kind of go through a couple of these. Well, just I guess one of these things. I went near and far. I sound like Grover right now. And so now let's hear the dark tone. So this is the Shure Plus Motive software, and it's running the dark tone. So I want to know what the difference is, and we could probably hear the difference right now. And let's just see what the natural tone sounds like. I've been recording on natural tone for the most part. And this is natural tone. So natural tone is probably just a little more open, not as deep, and just probably a little more, as it states, natural to my voice. And then here's the bright setting, the bright tone setting. And I don't know, what do you guys think? What do you think about the three settings, how it sounds? Does it sound any better? Does it sound any different? Let me know in the comments below. So, and if we go back into the manual mode, Let's go to auto level here. It's back to natural. So everything kind of resets when you go back to auto level. And if we go into manual mode in mic gain, I'm not going to touch any of this stuff here right now. But I want to know, I want to see what this, the EQ does. So this is a flat EQ. And I want to know if this sounds good. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. This is a test of the Shure MV7 podcast microphone. Here is a high pass. So test, test, test. This is a test of the Shure MV7 podcast microphone on high pass. Here's the presence boost. So test, test, test. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone on presence boost. And now the high pass and presence boost. So test, test, test. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone on high pass and presence boost. Let's just get back to neutral or flat EQ. And now we have a compressor. So the compressor is off right now, and I'm not exactly sure what this does, but let's hear what it sounds like. So it's off right now. Test, test, test. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone. Now it's on light. Test, test, test. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone. Sorry for that brain fart. On a light compression. This is the MV7 test, test, test. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone on a medium compression. And test, test, test. This is the Shure MV7 podcast microphone on heavy compression. So you guys let me know what you think about all of these settings. Obviously, there's going to be a learning curve and something that I need to do to play around with the settings to get it to where I want it to be. But for the most part, out of the box, it sounds really great. So let's just get back to the video. For now, I think the audio sounds really great. It's something that I really wanted to kind of clean up in my setup when I'm recording and that kind of stuff. And maybe in the future, if if we do more podcast style content with guests and everything, then this will be handy to, just have a nice, great and clean audio podcast setup. So I think this will work just fine. And I get some reactions from the rest of the guys on the mothership when we're gaming and see if, it's something that they like or if it's just too much, if it's just too weird. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully this works out well. So again, thanks everybody for coming by. Thanks for watching this video. And, we're really happy with the growth of the channel, and it's slow, but you know what? It's exciting. And hopefully you guys stick around with us. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. We'd really appreciate it. If you haven't, please consider subscribing. We'd love to get our numbers up again or even up faster. Share it with your friends if you are inclined to. And leave a comment below if you have any questions about this mic, about anything that you want to see on this channel. Just leave it in the comments below and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. And as always, this is Tony signing out from the mothership. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Perfect.